Hello once again. In the last episode we talked about how to stay motivated while writing an Undertale AU story. But today we want to talk about the message of every story and the message of your Undertale AU story, which is the most important factor of every story. You see, dear viewers, every story is split up into two parts. The A story and the B story. You see, we as a reader don't want to read stories about action and stuff. Well, deep down in our subconscious, we don't. Instead, we want to read about character-driven stories, where the character notices they have a problem and needs to fix it. We want to read the story of a man who is changing into a better person and becomes a better person of himself. Sure, space battles, an Undertale fight where Sænz is using all of his magical powers and Sænz is beating every villain in one hit like One Punch Man are also interesting. Well, for some of you, I really hate these kinds of stories. But the heart of every story is the reason of why we are actually reading the story. What is the message behind the story? Why does this main character go on this journey? And why don't they go back to their normal lives? Why do they want change and don't want to live in the normal world they are currently living in? And that is why we need the A and B story. But what is the A and B story? The so-called A story is all the external stuff that is happening on the screen, like all the space battle, the epic fights, the fantasy stuff, the magic stuff, all of that is the A story. Even romance is the A story. But what is the B story? The B story is about what the MC needs in his life and his journey to learn about it and changing his life by becoming a better person. Most of the time the MC doesn't even realize how easily his problems can be solved with this simple life lesson. But let's take a step back. What is a life lesson? AKA the need of the main protagonist. Well, it should be a simple lesson, something so simple and something everyone can relate to, like forgiving someone or yourself, accepting the world of how it is, trusting someone or trusting the unknown, learning how to be responsible toward your own duty, or something like redemption, where your main protagonist acknowledges that he was at fault and tries to better himself by becoming a better person. Let's make an example for a B story. For this, we take the anime Jobless Reincarnation as an example. Jobless Reincarnation tells the story of a NEET who spent 30 years in his room doing nothing but fap to 2D anime girls. Because he did nothing with his life, he got kicked out by his brothers and sisters, where he dies saving a girl. But as he leaves this world, he wishes he could have another chance to do something with his life, which he gets because he gets reincarnated in a world with magic and swords, which is basically every nerd's wet dreams. But instead of jerking off to the idea that he is now in the fantasy world, he tries everything to better himself in this new world. He learns new spells, he learns to swing a sword, he learns to live again, and he met so many people in this new life. But the most important lesson is that every failure is a chance to become better, and he needs to accept that failure is a part of life, which is, by the way, the need of the story. But since you really don't care about other stories than Undertale, let's make an example for an A and B story about an Undertale AU. And for that, let's take the Undertale AU of Inverted Fate. Inverted Fate's A story would be about a kid who fell down in the underground and now needs to find a way out to get back to the surface while facing magic and a lot of science fiction technology, while being accompanied by a skeleton scientist, an evil flower, and a ghost of a past child. And the B story would be about how a simple change would change a complete timeline. How you as a single person could change the opinion of a whole race, and how every choice matters, as well as forgiving yourself and reflecting on your past action, as well as overcoming doubts and becoming a better person of yourself, as well as explaining what the difference is between acting and being actually nice. The story of Inverted Fate even features elements of fatherly love, with the story of pə-PY-rəs and Frisk in this AU, where pə-PY-rəs saw it as his duty, as well as his responsibility and the right thing to do to protect Frisk, and over the time they built a close friendship that could even be considered as a strong bond between a father and his child. The story of Inverted Fate even features story about identity, where the mad dummy struggles to find his identity in the body he is given in. Inverted Fate even tackles the theme that love isn't enough to have a happy family, as seen with Kara and Asriel's storyline in Inverted Fate, where Kara complete hate for humanity and a lot of stress because of the complete prophecy of the fallen angel is stressing them, to the point that they think that the only way to fulfill this prophecy and free monster kind is to simply commit suicide by eating poison flowers and let their brother Asriel absorb their soul and kill all of humanity. This results into the death of Asriel, because he didn't want to kill any human, and the death of Kara. And after they were reborn, or reborn as a ghost, and followed Frisk's journey in Undertale, they noticed how humanity has changed, that humanity could be saved, while Asriel still holds Kara mindset that humanity is pure evil and that only monster kind, or only he, and together with Kara, could create the perfect world. I mean, this is the complete arc in the newest Inverted Fate storyline. Since Asriel's arc, or better yet, belief, is that no one can change. Since he doesn't want to believe that Kara in this case has changed. Since if Kara has changed and has changed their views of humanity, then what was this all for? Why would he have absorbed all of monster souls and conquered the human world and stole all their souls, as well as the fact that he built his own religion where he sees Kara as a bloody angel? If he believed that Kara has changed and changed their view on humanity, then that would mean that he created this world for nothing, that he created this hellhole for nothing at all. Then he would realize that Kara actually started to hate Asriel because of what he actually does, and he doesn't want to see that, and he doesn't want that. So he wholeheartedly believes that Frisk kind of mind-controlled Kara. And there's the complete arc of actually convincing Asriel that Kara has changed and that Asriel is in the wrong. The storyline of a single choice could impact a bloody timeline is also really present, with the existence of the different choices of the human that fell down. Like the two suicides of the two human that fell down, like the genocide of the blue soul, and the choice of the green mage to stay in the underground and help the monster kind, give every human a second chance, or protect monster kind if the human was hostile, like the blue and the yellow soul. Well, I must say, both of them were misguided. All of these quite single and small changes make Inverted Fate a bloody great story, with a lot of heart and a lot of thought put into it. While other stories that the fandom are writing is only focused on the A story and completely ignores the B story. For example, Underfell was just a reskin of Undertale, meaning that the A story would be the same as Undertale, but just a bit edgier. Underswap was also just a role swap, meaning that the A story is just the same. And stories like Ink Sans and Arrow Sans had interesting A and B stories, but the fandom completely ignored it and made just the A story the focus of Arrow and Ink's character, meaning they are just now the protectors of the universe and the destroyers of the universe, ignoring their struggles and ignoring their flaws. This was the explanation of what an A and B story is. If you want more videos like this, please watch my first part and watch also Undertale canon fact video for more canon facts about Undertale AUs. And like this video to get more AU creation tutorials. Anyways, I wish you all a bloody good day and goodbye.